speed up the game a bit, and we've got an Aztec versus Celts war. And so with Aztecs, the general should go for Eagle Warriors, I think, which is going to be a good choice against Maiar, who usually goes skirmishers. So let's look around at the map here. Mongolia is very closed on a 1v1. Got a lumber camp down for the general. Some gold off to the side. Some sheep. Hopefully a general will find those. And gold in the very back. Stone right next to each other. But overall, very easily defensible here for the general. And then Maiar, who's also very close. And doesn't rely on gold so much. But has a gold right here that could be very vulnerable. And we've also got stone here across the side. But the main gold is in the back for later when Maiar might switch to crossbows in a few knights. And this side of the map over here is probably going to be unused for the most part. We got some fire golds here. And we also have another gold mine here for the general that's a long ways away. Here we go, the general's got a lumber camp off to the side. And both are neck and neck in villagers. Maiar's got some couple farms down. This lumber camp could be pretty vulnerable. And the deer is not a very good spot for Maiar. It almost might be better to just build a mill next to the deer. Just double check the sound here. Yep, sound's all the way up. Yeah, so almost might be better just to build a mill next to these deer with, there's like 7 deer it looked like. But Maiar is just going to be able to collect the deer and get a lot of food. Makes sense for the map Mongolia. That's represented in a civ that has a big hunting bonus. Alright, the second lumber camp is not in the best spot. I would have preferred it back here. But that's where the general decided to put it. We got another vulnerable lumber camp here as well for Maiar, but Maiar is probably going to be the attacker in this match, at least at the beginning, because Maiar goes for a flush with skirmishers, while here the general is going to go for a fast castle into Eagle Warriors. We'll see if Maiar hits this mining camp or not. Maiar's to the feudal age there and has a few skirmishers. And let's see if Maiar has explored the general or not. Not yet. That's going to be pretty bad for Maiar. Let's watch to see if that scout can find the general in time. Because once the general gets some Eagle Warriors out, that's going to be pretty hard for Maiar to react against. And if Maiar doesn't find the general in enough time, we could actually see general being the aggressive player here. I'm curious to see if Maiar will eventually go to the castle age instead of trying to attack. It's like, oh, the flush failed, let's go to castle age as soon as possible. Maybe Maiar will just commit to the flush even though it's going to be late. Alright, back to full map here. General's got a tower here for defense. It's in a good spot if Maiar decides to attack this location. And General didn't get this second boar, it looks like. Let's go back here and make sure that... Okay, General did find it, so that looks like a bug there that I'm going to have to fix on the general. Alright, and general is up to castle age, and Maiar is still in feudal age. And we got about 10 Eagle Warriors. And I'm curious, I'm going to check and see So he's got the required numbers. Let's see if General has found Maiar. Okay, so both the IS had the same problem of not finding their opponent. But this definitely suits the General more than Maiar, who's going to fall behind in this battle against the General. Skirmishers just don't cut it against Eagle Warriors. We got an interesting General going all the way past the town center to hit the mining camp. And looking at military numbers, the General hasn't lost. Okay, just finally lost a single Eagle Warrior. And military numbers about equal here. Maiar's almost to castle age. And Maiar's going to have to come up with some quick defense here. Some archers coming out to prepare for crossbows. But just looking at villagers, this is pretty bad for Maiar right now. We got crossbowmen coming from the General. Maybe we're going to see some crossbows mixed in. Let's see. Yeah, we're going to mix in some archers here. And these vulnerable lumber camps are just being taken out by the Eagle Warriors. We got a ram coming in. It's turning into a really quick match, a lot quicker than I'd expect. Got a scout there. I don't know if that was a starting scout or a new scout. Looks like that was a starting scout. I don't see a stable. Alright, so the ram was taken out, but the General is ahead on military. We got a second ram coming. And Maiar's probably doing the best thing you can do in this situation. Plop down a whole bunch of town centers and hope that you can boom back up in time. But this town center is going to be taken out. All these villagers are going to die. So they're retreating to this town center. Looks like they were trying to hunt something. Looks like this deer here. Finally got a mill down next to where that deer was. And we got a whole bunch of rams taking out this TC, and Maiar calls it GG. So the General wins game 1. We'll see if that's enough to keep General in 3rd place. And maybe General will be able to get a second game 1 as well. Alright, let's gear up for the second game. Alright, all good to go. Let's get started. So what do we got for civs here? For the General, we've got Goths in blue, and we got Celts in green. Let's check their strategies that were loaded. Both going crossbows, it looks like. So already I can tell you that this is going to be a lot easier for Maiar. General's going straight into the crossbows, which are easily countered by skirmishers. The General will switch over to using skirmishers eventually, but we'll get caught off guard here. So Maiar, we've got Aztecs in yellow, which should be pretty good for skirmishers. And then Slavs in red, who will do alright as skirmishers, but geared more toward infantry and cavalry. And blue's got gold right on the edge of the map here, off to the side. Should be good. We'll see if we get that for this time for blue. It makes missing some sheep. Looking over at green. Ooh, that's not a good gold spot. It's going to be very vulnerable. We'll see if General goes for a different gold spot. Probably not this one. I'm hoping that green will go for this one. But yeah, that's super unlucky for green. And then red. Got a gold over here and a gold there. Both are fairly vulnerable. But a nice defensive wood line here. And lastly, we got yellow, another vulnerable gold mine. But overall, not too bad. Where's the secondary gold for yellow? There's one right here. So not a lot of back gold. Some extra gold there, guarded by wolves. Alright, so blue has got lumber camps in the back. And green looks like, I only see one lumber camp so far, but it might be the same. This one's certainly in the back. And red's probably going to be the aggressor against green. But we got a second lumber camp that's far away from the forest, unfortunately. Same with this one. Looks like we got a tile gap that you see sometimes with AIs. And same with yellow. You got one there, it's next to the forest, but not against this one. Unfortunately, with AI scripting, it's kind of hit or miss whether you can force the AI to build a lumber camp next to the forest or not without using some special scripting. Alright, so both Maiar players are in the feudal age. And let's see if we got some exploring thing going on. Okay. Red is able to find green, and it's a bit easier to find players in a team game because there's less variability in where the players can be located. And yellow has found blue as well, and is already on the way to attack. Alright, let's watch this battle here. So we got no defenders from blue. We got a defensive tower in a good spot. So that'll be very important as blue tries to defend himself. We got red attacking as well, and let's see. Okay, green did choose this mine, which makes sense. It's the closest one to this TC just by the number of tiles. This tower's in a good spot as well, but going to be completely missed by the skirmishers. Not too bad, honestly, unless he finds this lumber camp. Okay, yep, that's going to hurt. Got a skirmisher there. And then, so this tower is helping out for blue. We got some skirmishers for blue. Blue detected the strategy from yellow. We got, let's check upgrades. We got armor for the skirmishers, but no fletching. We got fletching on the skirmishers. And the skirmishers, it'd be nice if they tried to defend by the tower, but that didn't happen. And here, red is being able to be aggressive against the TC here. Alright, so that scout died. But we do have some free gold mining undisturbed for green. And that may help if green decides to go for crossbows, which it probably won't. But we do have elite skirmisher, which should help out a lot. And blue is still in feudal age. And blue has very unbalanced eco. That's going to be really bad. So actually, green is actually going to be the stronger player here. Even though both players are low on gold. Of course, both red and yellow are doing fine. Even though the wolf is attacking that skirmisher. It'd be funny if that wolf kills off the skirmisher there. Alright, let's see. It's a blue. Is slowly building up food to advance to the castle age, but it's very much delayed here. Red and yellow are up to castle age. And we got green being able to defend himself. One key difference is that green has has a lot fewer villagers than blue does. So blue is able to defend the villagers, but being very slow to get up to castle age. In this case, it might actually be better for blue's position if blue needs to stop training skirmishers and just save up for castle age. Allow this tower to defend the town on its own. so this is not the General's best game by far. We got a knight here from red. Those are going to do a lot of damage against the skirmishers. Yeah, so Maiar's clearly ahead in this match. Now Maiar's ahead of villagers on both. Both of the Maiar players are ahead of both the General players on villagers. This mining camp is going to go down if red didn't retreat. Yeah, green needs to mix in some spearmen, but the countering rules for the General right now are not flexible enough to counter more than one unit at once. Will be improved in the future. We got rams here from yellow. It's going to take out the rest of what blue has pretty quickly here. So GG needs to be called from the General pretty soon here. I'm waiting to see if the resign rules will trigger or not. Yeah, blue, your town is not safe. I think it looks like a bug. Blue, it must measure the town from the TC. And we have a TC going up somewhere for blue. Where are they going? I'm just curious now at this point. So I don't see a TC foundation. We are player 1 right now. Okay. So there's a TC foundation, but it's not going to go up at all because of red's skirmishers. Okay, it's GG. Well past GG. Resign rules didn't work. Alright, so now it's 1-1, Maiar and the General. Now on to the 3v3. And here we go. Alright, so on the right side of the map we have the General, who's flaring the locations of each of the enemies because the deal is Vietnamese. Very helpful for AI players, I'm sure. And so in blue we've got the Franks in the pocket, perfect place for the Franks, and the Vietnamese are in the flank, also perfect place for the Vietnamese. And same with Koreans, so pretty good team setup for the General. And then for Maiar, we've got Magyars in the flank, which would be pretty good if Maiar went for scouts, but it's not going to be the case. And we got Ethiopians in purple. That should be good once purple gets to the Castle Age and transitions to skirmishers. And we got red in the pocket, Saracens. That's not going to be great. It could be good if the Saracens go for camels, could counter the Franks, Knights, Paladins, Cavalier. So we've got both of the General flanks going for crossbows, and then the pocket is going for Knights. And teal has a nice gold off to the side, could still be attacked pretty easily by purple. Got a wood line here, being taken. But overall, not a bad setup here. Teal has this gold that's fairly easy to get to, not too dangerous. unless purple decides to attack blue. And then green is, that gold is not good at all. Yeah, not good at all. All the gold is right here. And so hopefully blue can help out green if green gets attacked too much. But there is a chance that yellow will attack from this angle rather than coming to this location. Now looking at Maiar here, we've got yellow, which has some gold in the front there, but the main gold is very nicely in the back. Got 2 lumber camps in the back as well, one of them next to the wood line. And then for purple, about the same here. Gold almost in the exact location, almost directly back from the TC. So I would summarize this as the general has the civs in the right locations, where Maiar has the gold in the right spot. We got most of the players going up to feudal age right now. The Maiar flanks are already there. So the Ethiopians are currently ahead in military production. And so teal went for this gold mine. Let's see where green went. Yep, so green went for this one. It makes sense. That tower is built away from the mining camp, so that's not a good placement. It would have been better about halfway between the cactus and the gold. Or maybe right here to try and defend both of the gold mines. Or even right here, but probably closer to there is where I would put it. Alright, wolf distracting yellow. And purple reaches teal first. We got a tower here, which is in a decent spot. Got the skirmisher transition from teal and green. Yep, those villagers are immediately sent away from the gold mine. We do have some skirmishers from green. But yeah, just looking at military numbers, the general is clearly behind on the flanks. And now, if the skirmishers just focus against this tower, it could be good, especially now that it's a guard tower for green. Right, teal, let's see, maybe teal's going to do the same thing that blue did last game where he takes forever to get to Castle Age. Let's see here. Yep, same thing. Something I'm not going to have to fix. Save that better for Castle Age. Fight not going too badly here for teal though, with a well-placed tower. I say that as knights come storming into teal's town, that's going to change things quickly here. So I predict that teal's going to go down. While green should probably be fine for a while. But not a lot of gold. But thankfully green doesn't need it too much right now. These elite skirmishers should do pretty well, at least cost-effective wise. And then blue has got some knights going, I believe. Just double checking here, we got some knights, but blue is not using them. Let's check the attack stuff here. So once blue gets to 12, knights should attack. But blue's going to focus on booming, I think. We got 1, 2, 3 TCs. So that part is good. And blue is definitely ahead of all players on villager production. But teal is just getting hit very hard. But green's not too bad here, but definitely behind on villagers here. Especially yellow, who is in Castle Age. And we don't see any elite skirmishers, but we do see crossbows. And they got the bodkin upgrade. And a knight from yellow. So this here could be pretty damaging. We got a town center in. If it goes up, it'd actually be in a decent spot, besides being by the cliff. If it was by this gold, it would have been better. Alright, so blue here is slowly making knights. That TC did not go up. And so all of the Maiar players are now focusing against green because teal is taken out. Yeah, it looks like purple is going to target blue now. And is blue trying to attack? It looks like it. So these knights are going to kill off these range units pretty quickly. But that might not be enough to stop green from being defeated. It's basically 3v1 right now. And blue needs to get to Imperial Age to have any hope of surviving. Looks like that's a bug for green. Looks like teal was force defeated, and green wants to be defeated, but it's not actually clicking the resign button. So the resign rule is clearly bugged for the general. And so blue has the numbers, but not the military. And looking at resources here, the blue is nowhere close to Imperial Age. And Maiar's temporarily retreating, giving blue some space, but it's not going to last too long here. Preparing the castle, but blue, let's check the resources again. Blue is still nowhere close to Imperial Age. And so I'm guessing Maiar is waiting for Imperial Age, making the final push. I'm curious to see if blue will try to make an attack here. These knights are not going to do well against all the camels. Okay, red decides to go for Arbalest instead of, or maybe Arbalest and camels together. And yellow's actually taking the role of the traditional pocket player, going for the Cavalier. Finally got a siege ram coming, but this castle's going to go down pretty quickly. I bet it's going to go down before the siege rams can hit it. Ah, never mind, I was proved wrong. Got another castle going up, but on the other side of the cliff. And these siege rams are going to take them down pretty quickly. And wow, this is going to be a doubt castle. both these scouts will be taken down here shortly. Alright, so there's not much else to see here. It's going to be game over. And that's 2 points for Maiar. And now for the last game, the 4v4. Last game of the whole second round of the AI ladder. And here we go. We got Franks again for blue. A recurring pattern. And so we got gray, which is really close to orange. So it looks like one of the players is Vietnamese for general. That is gray this time. Also flank again. And the other flank is the Slavs, which should go for knights even as flank, I would assume. Okay, so green is going for crossbows. Blue is going for knights as a pocket. Teal is going into knights as well. And then gray is going for crossbows as you'd expect from Vietnamese. And then the other pocket is Mongols for the general. And then flank players, we've got Indians for red. And orange is the Malay. Yeah, so Malay is probably best as flank here rather than pocket. And then we got Portuguese as pocket and Persians as pocket. Both are good civs for pockets. So this should go decently well for Maiar. If Maiar can get ahead like you'd expect. And so gray has this nice long cliff. Wow. It should be able to be easily defended. And I don't see any gold mines on the outside that would be vulnerable. Got 2 gold mines in the back, so yeah. Gray is set. And then that's, so we've got teal really close to green, but that's fine because they're allies. Got an interestingly placed lumber camp here. Put in a better place right there. And green also seems to be decent. We got the gold in the back, also in the back there. This looks like General lucked out on the flank positions. Meanwhile, red did not, at least for the gold. We got a vulnerable lumber camp there for red and orange. It's not too bad defenses-wise. Got this choke point here that's shared between gray and orange. And it could also enter through here. And not a bad lumber camp spot there. This one's better. Alright, so the flanks for Maiar are in feudal age. Got some boar hunting here, which is pretty late and far away. And gray finally found the last 2 sheep. And so let's watch to see what happens here. So we got the range and blacksmith up, and we got the tower here, which sort of helps for grain, depending on where red will decide to attack. If red goes this way, that could be pretty hard for green to defend. And let's see what happens here for orange. They got the tower here instead, which is not the best. Let's see if orange can get directed to this tower. Looks like it won't. And looks like gray finally detected Maiar's strategy, so we got the tower coming into play now. And then, yeah, so red decided to attack this angle instead of attacking up at the lumber camp. So we got green defending with skirmishers, but very close to the TC, might lose some villagers. And Orange continuing to attack from this angle. TC getting involved. But Green is actually doing better on military numbers than Gray is. The General consistently going for armor before attack on the skirmishers. We got some Knights coming in to help from Purple. And so we're mostly seeing a repeat of last game despite the good roll position from both flanks. In fact, it looks like both flanks are being kept in the feudal age because of their skirmisher production. Alright, but this time we've got some Knights coming in from blue to help, which should help against the skirmishers. It's good if they're hitting those first, but then they're going to suffer when trying to take out the Knights because I believe they're outnumbered. But blue does have the better stats on the Knights. Is able to keep them together. But Gray might be damaged too hard to really come back. But we do have some help from Teal. So we're actually seeing the pockets from General helping out this time around. But Purple has some camels as well, which is going to make it tough for Teal to really defend his ally. Let's see, it's the attack here from blue. Can it cause some real damage against Orange? And not too much, maybe a villager or two. And Teal was beaten off, wasn't able to stop the attack here against Green. Looks like the tower's finally trying to help out here. And Red's actually mixing in some spearmen. Looks like Gray's actually trying to mix in some skirmishers again. But neither flank from the General is going up to the Castle Age. And that's really going to hurt here. So we're probably going to see a situation again. In this case, it'll be a 2v4, where the General's really going to struggle to come back. You might see this TC go down here for Gray pretty soon. Pikeman from Orange. So even if Blue tries to come here and help, it's not going to do much. Yep, so there's the TC. The villagers going down. Got a castle here from Blue. This TC is not going to last too much longer here. They'll require some reinforcements, perhaps from Purple first, but they might just re-target against Teal here. So we got crossbows still from Almonds here. And I'm going to check here. Teal's still going for a Knight's strategy, but it's detecting the crossbows is the enemy strategy, so I'm actually not sure why Teal's trying to mix in some crossbows. And Blue's doing the same. Might be trying to counter the pikes, so you got Knights and crossbows to defend against Knight and pike. But it's not going to help out too much here. Got some ramps here. Nagamo's not going to do too much against Knights. Could see a shot here against the ram or against these crossbows. It's gonna be killed off before making any real damage. Blue's sitting tight here, not getting hit by the opponents too bad. We see some knights coming out here. Not clear the whether just trying to defend, or if Blue's actually trying to go out and attack here. It looks like they're just defending. Going out here to help that castle. So we got this TC almost going down for Teal. Is that Teal's last TC? I think it might. Alright, we got some knights from Teal. We're gonna do some momentary defending here. But they're not gonna last too long once some pikes get in there. And Blue is in Imperial Age. Might have been the first time we've seen General reach the Imperial Age this whole time. And Blue's trying to take over Gray's old mining camp. Blue's also trying to. Blue's just stealing all of his allies' resources. Got Blue here with a converted paladin. That's fun. And I don't predict this will do too much damage here. Those cavaliers are going to go down. I'd say before this castle is taken out. I thought I heard a cannon somewhere. But yep, the castle did not go down. I have to make this castle go down first. These cannons are gonna die from Blue as well. Yet, so it's now 1v4. And Blue's certainly not gonna hold on 1v4. Basically, no AI can do that.
Food, please. Wood, please. Wood, please. Wood, please. Food, please.
Interesting. It looks like Maiar is I'm actually not sure what's going on with the natural wonders cheat. It's actually just switching the point of view to a certain player. I haven't really seen that happen before with the natural wonders cheat. But just looking at the Blues villager accounts, it's GG. So congratulations, Maiar, winning 3-1 against the